Hi there, in this screencast I'm going to show you how to speed up and slow down the animation sequence for your sprite. So the way I left it, if you run your program, the sprite is going to be moving really quickly. And that's because a new image is being displayed 50 times a second. And since there are only 8 images in the sequence, he's going through an entire run sequence 6 times every second. Not good. Way too fast. So to slow it down, the strategy is you only want to you want to not update the image that's being displayed as frequently. So you don't want to change the number of times the update and draw method are fired, because you want to give yourself flexibility for speed of animation for other sprites. But you want to be able to basically, for the sprite that you want to slow down, you want to make sure that you can only update their image, say, 10 times a second instead of 50 times a second. So the way we're going to do that is this. Right now we have one animation count variable. I'm going to make another one. I'm going to change that to be animation count 1, and I'm going to make another one that's going to be animation count 2. All right, and then I'm also going to make an int variable called speed. Okay, speed. All right, then in initialize, I'm going to change animation count to animation count 1, and animation count 2 equals 0. And then I'm going to say speed equals 2. All right, if speed equals 1, you'll see that that is the absolute fastest. 2 is going to slow down the sequence a little bit, and the bigger this number gets, the slower the animation is going to go. So now, down in the draw method, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say animation count 1 plus. Then I'm going to say if animation count 1 equals speed, then animation count 1 equals 0, and animation count 2 plus, and if animation count 2 equals 0, then equals 8, because that I have 8 images in position 0 to 7 of my image array, texture 2D array, then animation count 2 equals 0. And then I have to go for the draw statement. Instead of doing animation count, I do animation count 2. So what happens is animation count 2 is only updated periodically instead of every single time. It's only updated when this is true, when animation count 1 equals speed, and that isn't always going to be true if because animation count 1 is going to be cycling between 0 and some number. Only when it hits the high number do you update the image or the texture 2D image. Okay, so that's much better. Now if I change speed up to 4, it's going to be even better, even slower. All right, so that's like a really good clip. Now, one neat thing that you can do is you can speed up the sprite as as the game is running. Since we have a variable called speed, all we need to do is tweak or update the value of speed as time moves on. So I'm going to make, to do that, I'm going to make a variable called clock. All right. And I'm going to set clock equal to 0. And then in the update method, I'm going to update clock. So clock is just going to be counting upward. So now, let's say if down in the draw method, or no, actually up where I was, I can say if clock, equals 200, then speed plus plus. So this is actually going to slow down the sprite as time moves on. And I don't want a semicolon there. And I'm going to start the speed at 1. So that's pretty fast. And then it's just going to go slower and slower as time moves on. So we should see, there we go, you can see his speed is just declining. And then it should be continuing to get slower. Alright, it's getting slower again. And then it's getting slower again. Oh, you know what? I don't want to do if speed equals 200 or clock equals 200. I want to do, let's see, if clock percent 200 is equal to 0. Alright, so that means every 200 it's going to slow the speed down. Alright, there he goes at full speed. Slower. Slower. Slower yet. You can also make the speed change with key presses. So you can do a lot with the speed of animation if you have that variable called speed. It's actually a pretty useful tool.